Hello and a warm welcome to South Asia Today, where we bring you in-depth insights into the key events shaping South Asia. I'm Shivangi Mishra, and now today's top stories. India's coal industry transforms energy, economy and society. Nepal's famous king card, Juju Thaw, adapts with time but tradition at risk. And Uyghur Congress president exposed China's global intimidation tactics. Let's begin the show. India, a land of 1.4 billion dreams, is powering ahead with an ambitious vision. Round-the-clock electricity for every home, industry and farm by 2030. At the heart of this energy revolution is coal, not just fueling progress, but driving innovation, sustainability and social transformation. From smart mining to cleaner technologies, coal is lighting up lives and laying the foundation for a brighter, bolder India. Take a look.
India is racing toward energy security and universal electricity access, targeting 500 gigawatt of installed power capacity by 2030. The aim: reliable 24/7 electricity for every home, farm and industry. As the world's third largest energy consumer, India's demand is rising 4 to 5% annually, driven by urbanization, industrial growth and rural electrification. To meet the projected 2,600 terawatt-hours demand by 2030, coal remains the backbone, currently supplying over 70% of India's electricity. With reserves exceeding 360 billion tons, coal ensures energy stability. In 2024-25, India produced 1,040 million tons, 80% of it by Coal India Limited and its subsidiary Southeastern Coalfields Limited. SECL alone hit a record 202 million tons led by Jevra, the country's largest mine, and Charcha, fueling power plants nationwide. As India integrates 300 gigawatts of renewables, coal provides critical baseload power, stabilizing the grid and supporting peak demand. Balancing clean energy with reliability, coal remains key to India's Atmanirbhar Bharat vision.
और जो कोयला उत्पादन करता है, भारत का तकरीबन 20% की जो एनर्जी नीड्स है उसको फुलफिल करता है. जितना भी हमारी इंडस्ट्रीज़ हैं या डोमेस्टिक नीड्स हैं उनको फुलफिल करता है. जहाँ पे भी आप अगर लाइट देखते हैं तो समझिए इसमें से 20% जो प्रकाश है या हमारी इंडस्ट्री जो चल रही है उसमें SECL का कर्मी का कहीं ना कहीं मेहनत और पसीने का फल है.
India's coal sector is embracing innovation to boost efficiency, safety and sustainability. Jevra, located in Chhattisgarh, is set to become the world's largest coal mine. It is using eco-friendly surface miners, 42 cubic meter shovels and 240-ton dumpers to increase output while reducing emissions. First-mile connectivity silos with a 25 million ton capacity ensure faster, cleaner coal transport. Despite tough geology, Charcha mine produced 1.598 million tons in 2024-25 with zero safety violations thanks to rigorous compliance with PIT committees, internal audits and DGMS standards. Looking ahead, India is investing in cleaner coal technologies. A $1 billion initiative launched in 2023 targets 100 million tons of coal gasification by 2030, converting coal to syngas for industrial use. Jevra's vast reserves place it at the heart of this shift. These advancements highlight how India is balancing rising energy needs with sustainability, keeping coal a key pillar of its power mix.
कि 100 मिलियन टन कोयले का उत्पादन हमें 2030 तक करना है. SECL इसी विजन के साथ काम कर रहा है कि आने वाले समय में 2030 तक हम लोग 25 मिलियन टन के आसपास कोयला उत्पादन करेंगे, यानी टोटल जो उत्पादन है उसका 25%. और उसको करने के लिए हम लोग लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी, लेटेस्ट सेफ्टी गैजेट्स उनको प्रयोग कर रहे हैं. उसके तहत ये कोयला उत्पादन होगा. ये पूर्ण रीति से इन्वायरमेंट फ्रेंडली रहेगा. पर्यावरण के अनुकूल जितने भी संसाधन हैं वो प्रयोग होंगे, मिनिमम डैमेज ये इन्वायरमेंट को करेगा।
जो पहले की जो कल्चर थी कोल प्रोडक्शन की, तो क्या तो ब्लास्टिंग वगैरह से होता था। उस टाइम ऐसा होता था कि बहुत सारा पोल्यूशन होता था, ह्यूमन को दिक्कत होती थी और हम उतना आउटपुट नहीं निकाल पाता था। जब से ये नई न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी सीएम टेक्नोलॉजी अंडरग्राउंड माइंस में आई है, तो एडवांटेज ये मिला है कि एक तो लेस मैन पावर कंज्यूम हो रहा है और साथ में हम हाई प्रोडक्शन कर रहे हैं विथ सेफ्टी के साथ।
Beyond powering India, the coal sector is driving sustainability and community development. SECL's Sagarmatha project discharges 2,659 cubic meters of groundwater daily, aiding local farmers and boosting agriculture.
पहले तो खाली बरसात के भरोसे ही रहते थे सर सभी किसान, लेकिन जब से खदान का पानी आया है तब से दोनों फसल होता है और धान का भी खेती, धान दोनों फसल होता है, गेहूं का भी होता है और कुछ सब्जियां भी होता है।
At Bhatgaon, SECL's 20 megawatt solar plant, commissioned in 2023-24, generates over 38 million units of green energy annually, cutting 30,000 tons of CO2 and saving 2.4 million USD. Built on reclaimed mine land, it supports India's 300 gigawatt renewable target. SECL also invests in community welfare through jobs, infrastructure, and education in mining regions.
ऑल इंडिया में हमारे बच्चों को पढ़ाई लिखाई के लिए तमाम सुविधाएं मिलती हैं, बस सुविधा मिलती है, बड़े बड़े हाई एजुकेशन के लिए तमाम जो है सुविधाएं हैं। इसके बाद जो है हमको गाड़ी अलाउंस मिलता है, मेडिकल सुविधा मिलता है, क्वार्टर सुविधा मिलता है। हमारे बच्चों को खेलने के लिए पार्क की सुविधा है, बच्चों को स्कूल जाने के लिए गाड़ी की सुविधा है। सारी सुविधाएं हमें प्राप्त होती हैं। सारी सुविधाओं से हम बहुत खुश हैं।
India's coal sector, led by innovators like SECL, is powering the nation while championing environmental care and social upliftment. This inspiring story of coal-driving energy, growth, and community welfare embodies India's relentless push towards its 2030 energy goals.
Nepal's famous Jujudor or king curd remains a treasured delicacy of the Neva community, especially during festivals. Rooted in the 13th century, Bhaktapur, it is traditionally prepared in clay pots, which enhance its rich texture and flavor. While modern packaging like plastic containers offer greater convenience and wider distribution, efforts continue to preserve the cultural charm of Jujudor. Many curd makers still honor traditional methods, ensuring its legacy lives on. This blend of tradition and adaptation keeps Jujudor relevant and beloved in changing times. Have a look.
Inside a modest factory nestled in the heart of Nepal's Bhaktapur, Reena Soval moves swiftly between steaming vats of milk and rows of pitchers waiting to be filled. For the past 25 years, she has dedicated her days from morning to night to making Jujudor, Nepal's famous king curd. This delicacy holds a cherished place in the Neva community, particularly during festive seasons, where no celebration feels complete without it. But as time has passed, the very vessel that defines Jujudor, the traditional mud pitcher, is slowly being replaced, threatening to erode a piece of cultural identity.
पहिला पहिला अब मैले काम सुरु गरेको बेलामा सबै मातोको मात्र भाराहरू हुन्थ्यो। यो बटाहरू भनेको केही पनि चलाउँदैन थियो हैन। जब मैले काम गरेको त्यस्तै अब 5 वर्ष 6 वर्षपछि चाहिँ बिस्तारै सजिलो सामानहरू आउन थाल्यो। जस्तै बटाहरू मान्छेहरूलाई यो माटोको दही मोटरसाइकलमा लग्नलाई गाह्रो भएर अब उहाँहरूलाई सजिलोको लागि बट्टा दही पनि आयो हैन। अनि बट्टामा पनि हामी जुझ्दौ भनेर बेच्न थाले। पहिला चाहिँ त्यतिको बट्टा दही जाँदैन। अहिले चाहिँ मान्छेहरूले थाहा पाइसक्यो कि बट्टामा चाहिँ जुझ्दौ पनि पाइन्छ भनेर। अनि उहाँहरूले अहिले खानु भएपछि उहाँहरूलाई अब कसैलाई माटोको मन पर्छ, कसैलाई बट्टा मन पर्छ।
For centuries, Jujudor has been inseparable from the kataro, a clay pot that not only holds the curd but also helps create its signature texture and flavor. Even as it lines supermarket shelves across Kathmandu Valley today, its roots trace back to 13th century Bhaktapur, where tradition still pulses through its alleys. The shift to plastic containers, however, is a reflection of modern convenience. They are lighter, more durable, and easier to transport, especially by motorbike. Yet, this change has sparked concern among long-time curd makers and cultural purists alike who fear the essence of Juju Dhaw is being diluted. What remains constant is the careful focus on quality. Each morning, Reena and her team get fresh cow and buffalo milk from nearby towns, check its fat content, aiming for 5%, and then boil it using a commercial boiler instead of traditional manual methods.
अनि दुध ल्याइसकेपछि हामी चाहिँ दुध जाँच्नुपर्छ त्यसलाई कति फ्याटसम्मको छ भनेर बाक्लो पातलो हेर्नु पर्यो दुध जाँच्नुपर्छ अनि त्यो जाँचेको अनुसार 5 डिग्री चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो 5 फ्याटको हुनु पर्यो अनि ल्याएर फ्याटमा टटाउँछौँ हामी चाहिँ अहिले चाहिँ मेसिन आएको छ ठुलो पहिला चाहिँ हातले चलाउनु पर्छ अहिले त्यतिको हातले चलाउनु पर्दैन फ्याटमा राख्ने हो मेसिनले चलाउने हो अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ 80 डिग्री भएपछि 80-85 डिग्री भएपछि चाहिँ हाम्रो अर्को डेक्सीमा चाहिँ उमाल्नुपर्छ अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ अब लगभग हामी भनौँ न दुध राखेर उम्लेर कति भन्दाखेरि अब आधी घण्टा 1 घण्टासम्म उमालेर अनि एकचोटि राख्छौँ अनि त्यति राखिसकेपछि फेरि उमालिराख्नुपर्छ त्यो चाहिँ अब ननिभाउने.
The milk is poured in stages over an hour or more, forming layers of froth and cream. It is then cooled and inoculated with a starter culture, a spoonful of existing Juju Dhaw to begin fermentation.
First of all, the taste was slightly tangy but pleasantly sweet, and it's very different from normal curd because it's not very sour and not at all sour actually, and a very thick texture than normal dahi.
Buffalo milk with nearly double the fat of cow's milk is often credited with delivering this luxurious texture. Even today, traditional curd makers insist that real Juju Dhaw must begin with buffalo milk to stay true to its origins. The demand for the king curd continues to surge, especially during festivals. But for makers like Reena Soval, each batch remains a balancing act between heritage and modernity, between clay and plastic, ensuring that while the methods may evolve, the soul of Juju Dhaw is never lost.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, said last week that it was deeply concerned over the alarming surge of Afghans uprooted from Iran under dire conditions, warning that the mass scale of returnees could worsen Afghanistan's already precarious situation. More than 1.2 million Afghans have been deported from neighboring Iran since March 2024, according to the International Organization for Migration, after Tehran pledged mass deportations to counter mounting local discontent over refugees. Thousands have also fled this month after Israeli and U.S. airstrikes hit Iranian military targets. Inside Afghanistan, humanitarian aid agencies say conditions are dire, with inadequate shelter, food shortages, and no roadmap for reintegration. Back in their own country, many men struggle to support their family, while women face severe restrictions on their daily life under the ruling Taliban. The Taliban has barred women from traveling without a mahram, or male guardian, and banned girls from attending high school. Up to 10,000 Afghan women, men and children are taking the Islam Kala border crossing from Iran on a daily basis, according to the Taliban authorities. At least 9 people died last week when floodwaters swept away children in a river in northern Pakistan and relatives who had jumped into the water to try to save them. It was still too early to say how many children and how many adults had died. 9 bodies have been recovered so far. The Provincial Disaster Management Authority later issued an alert saying there were high flood levels and warning people to take precautions. Tens of thousands of tourists, mostly from other parts of Pakistan, visit the North's peaks and glaciers every year during the summer travel season. Poland has completed negotiations with South Korea's Hyundai Rotem 064350KS to receive a second batch of K2 tanks and plans to sign a contract, the Polish Minister of Defense said this week. The specific size of the contract will be disclosed later, South Korea's Defense Acquisition Program Administration said in a statement. The deal to supply 180 tanks is estimated to be worth about $6.5 billion. In 2022, Poland and Hyundai Rotem agreed a supply deal for the first batch, or 180 K2 tanks. While the first contract focused on Korean-made vehicles that could be quickly supplied as Poland moved swiftly to boost its military amid Russia's war in neighboring Ukraine, the second batch is expected to grant the Korean arms maker a more permanent foothold in Europe.
Moving on. Former World Uyghur Congress President Dolkun Issa has issued a video message from Geneva exposing China's ongoing repression of Uyghurs in Xinjiang or East Turkestan. Issa described mass detentions, forced labor, and advanced surveillance as part of a continuing genocide. He condemned China's propaganda campaigns aimed at whitewashing the crisis and urged the global community to act now before the Uyghur tragedy fades from international focus. We have a report.
China has come under intense international scrutiny for its treatment of the Uyghur Muslim population in the Xinjiang region. Numerous governments, human rights organizations, and independent researchers have reported and condemned a range of serious human rights abuses occurring in the region for the last several years. Adding to this concern, former president of the World Uyghur Congress, Dolkun Issa, has once again raised urgent concern in his video message about the worsening human rights situation of the Uyghur people in China's Xinjiang region, known to many Uyghur as East Turkestan. He urged the United Nations to take decisive measure against China's continued oppression of the Uyghur community during the 59th session of the Human Rights Council in Geneva.
Problem is continuing on genocide ongoing, so that's why media, international media, and civil societies, government should be take some action, is a tangible action, because people, millions of people, still is suffering in Turkestan. If it's not international pressure, not international media attention, not government pressure, not UN attention, no other people, civil society, and the ordinary people attention for this, then Chinese government can achieve its purpose, because Chinese government trying to whitewashing this and trying to hiding this reality, and step by step this Uyghur issue, Uyghur genocide is pushed to sideline, and slowly is forgetting it. This is the main purpose of the China. So that's why we strongly ask the international media, civil society, government should have implemented.
The Xinjiang region has become a focal point of one of the most urgent and significant human rights crises in recent years. The Chinese government is accused of engaging in forced sterilization, family suppression, and high-tech surveillance across the region.
Yes, the Chinese government is a so-called re-education camp, but actually it's not a re-education camp, it is a concentration camp, you know. So it is the surveillance technology used, and the voice recognition, face recognition, all technology testing to the Uyghur first Chinese government. No, use this technology to other part of China and Hong Kong, even not territory inside China, even use this technology to other neighboring country, export it is authoritarian regime and technology to other nation and control it as other people. So it is mean Chinese government now continually and trying to show it is rule to the model to the authoritarian regime, and lead this authoritarian regime, and lead for the authoritarian regime. Yes.
Issa urged the international community to reject this facade, hold China accountable, and stand in solidarity with the Uyghur people suffering under systematic repression.
The surveillance technology, of course, and they bring a lot of problem, inconvenience to the Uyghurs. Today, all Uyghur is monitoring by the Chinese government. Even Chinese government is developed new app, and firstly, they download your smartphone. It is mean they track your every activities. So, as I said, it's not only Chinese government surveillance technology is a pressure to the Uyghur people or other part of China, and also this surveillance technology export to the outside the Chinese territory, trying to help authoritarian regime to even own people, own citizens to under pressure. And the Chinese government use this technology and expanded its transnational repression beyond its borders.
Isa's statements serve as a powerful appeal to the global community to confront China's ongoing human rights violation against the Uyghur people and to push for more decisive measure to hold Beijing accountable. The Uyghur crisis centers on widespread and systematic abuses targeting the Muslim Turkic minority in China's Xinjiang region. Numerous reports indicate that over 1 million Uyghurs have been detained in so-called re-education camps where they face forced ideological indoctrination, physical abuses, and effort to erase their culture and religious identity.
Let's take you to the sacred town of Puri in India, where the grand Rath Yatra or Chariot Festival was observed with great spiritual fervor, honoring Lord Jagannath along with his sister Subhadra and brother Balbhadra. This annual procession stands as one of India's most prominent and widely celebrated religious events. While similar festivities occur across the nation, the scale and spirit of the Puri celebration remain unmatched.
The wait is finally over as the three grand chariots roll down India's Puri's Grand Road. Chants of Jai Jagannath echoed throughout the coastal town, marking the beginning of the much-awaited Rath Yatra. Decked in vibrant hues of red and yellow, the ceremonial chariots are the centerpiece of the iconic Jagannath Rath Yatra, a festival steeped in devotion and tradition. Thousands of Hindu devotees from across the country gathered in Puri to witness this sacred event dedicated to Lord Jagannath, his sister goddess Subhadra, and his elder brother Lord Balbhadra. Also known as the Gundicha Yatra or Chariot Festival, this celebration is one of Odisha's most significant and eagerly awaited annual events, with deep cultural and spiritual roots nationwide. The festival begins when the idols of the three deities are ceremoniously brought out from the sanctum of the Jagannath temple. They are then placed on massive, beautifully adorned chariots and taken to the Gundicha temple, believed to be the home of Lord Jagannath's aunt, where they remain for 9 days before returning. Celebrated with immense zeal across India, the Rath Yatra is seen as a symbol of unity, peace and spiritual harmony.
पिछले 2 दिनों से हम अपने आप को लकी फील कर रहे हैं क्योंकि हम सबसे पहले जब आए तो हमें प्रभु ने रथ पे दर्शन दिया। भीड़ बहुत थी लेकिन उस भीड़ में भी जैसे लग रहा था कि वो प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं। उनका भाव बहुत अच्छा है, वो अपने भक्तों का बहुत ख्याल रखते हैं। बिल्कुल वैसा ही लग रहा था। प्रभु वैसे तो वो जगत के नाथ हैं, हम सबके ही पिता हैं, बीज देवक पिता हैं, जैसा कि भगवत गीता में भी बोला गया है। हम तो उनका नाम हमेशा बजते रहते हैं और जैसे लग रहा है कि उनका नाम भजना आज सार्थक हुआ। हम बहुत सुंदर दर्शन कर पाए। वो एकदम खिलखिलाते बच्चों की तरह तीनों लोग बैठे हुए थे और बहुत अच्छे लग रहे थे, बहुत खुश लग रहे थे।
During the celebration, the city buzzes with energy as people fill the streets, dancing and singing to the rhythms of drums, gongs and cymbals while pulling the sacred chariots with long ropes. It is believed that participating in pulling the ropes brings spiritual merit, helping individuals cleanse their sins and move closer to salvation. The divine trio rides in 3 distinct chariots, Lord Balbhadra in Taladhwaj, Goddess Subhadra in Darbadalan and Lord Jagannath in Nandi Khosa. Each chariot is adorned with 9 Parsava Devatas, represented by painted wooden images of various deities on the chariot sides. Moreover, each chariot is drawn by 4 horses, each set in a unique color. Dark horses for Balbhadra, red for Subhadra, and white for Jagannath.
And it's my first time in Puri. We are here with my husband. We are really happy because it's our first time that we're going to be so close and can see the Lord.
Calling him the Lord of Universe, the devotees express their immense joy of being able to witness such a holy yatra.
We can pull Lord Jagannath from this Puri Dham to our Gundicha temple. In the same way, we can pull Lord Jagannath to our heart, and then he will pull us to this material world, to the spiritual world. And this festival is a festival of love.
Due to the massive turnout of devotees participating in the festivities, stringent security measures were implemented at the festival grounds, with police personnel maintaining constant vigilance throughout the Rath Yatra. The Jagannath Rath Yatra remains a deeply revered celebration that not only fosters spiritual unity but also highlights the vibrant cultural traditions of Odisha.
And as we wrap up today's episode of South Asia Today, we thank you for joining us. We'll return next week at the same time with more insights and updates. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of our entire team. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.